Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, February 15th. So we have the moon in Sagittarius again all day. However, we will see that moon go void, of course, at 8:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be shifting into Capricorn energy very shortly Thursday morning. So what does this mean? Well, it means that we are about to go splat down on the earth with a little bit of a reality check. Why is that? Well, because when we shift out of Sag energy, that is very fiery, very excitable, very optimistic, very confident, very out there in la la land, thinking that anything that we focus on, any possibility that we focus on is actually achievable. We kind of get the wind knocked out of our sails when we shift into that Capricorn energy because it's an earth energy and it sucks us back down to earth. And we usually splat on that earth. We feel the energy just slow up a tad, and it can feel very heavy, very weighted, especially seeing as we just had Mercury finally leave this Capricorn energy. We felt a little bit lighter. We felt a little bit brighter. Our mental plane was working a little bit more efficiently. The moon, our emotions, our unconscious selves moving into this Capricorn energy is definitely going to bring the heaviness back, the weight back, the negative narrative back, the realistic point of view back in order for us to kind of get a grip on the dreams, on the truth, on the meaning, on the purpose that we just conjured up with the moon in Sag. We're bringing it into a realistic framework on what it is that we're actually going to do with this new mission, with this new purpose. Now, we are going to get the bulk of the day with this Sag energy, so we're not going to feel the weight as of yet. However, I feel like towards the end of the day, especially once the moon goes void, we are going to start feeling that weight creep back into our emotions and into our mental plane. And so I say to you, prepare to have a hard time waking up Thursday. Prepare to have a little bit of a funk in your thoughts, in your feels Thursday. But we're not there yet, so let's enjoy the positivity, the confidence, the overwhelming enthusiasm that this moon in Sag brings us. And with 9 aspects here today and 8 of them involving the moon, we are definitely going to work our way through this new level of truth that we are sorting through and kind of redefining the path and the direction that we are now willing to take. So we do have Venus conjunct Neptune, both in Pisces energy. I kind of spoke very briefly about this in yesterday's energy forecast because we were already kind of feeling the influence of that. Keep in mind, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Neptune connects us to our higher self, our inspiration, our intuition, our imagination, to la la land. And when we're able to kind of realize those particular higher realm visions and dreams and insight, we can bring it into the physical body that Venus rules over and actually sort through what needs to stay, what needs to go, what brings, value and happiness and joy out of those visions and dreams and insights. And then we get to bring it to life. So Venus conjunct sitting next to, bumping into Neptune, both in Pisces energy. We are definitely going to feel super sensitive. This is kind of playing into the la delusional land that many of us are living in right now. Yes, it's going to spike our imagination. It's going to spike our creativity. It's going to spike our want, need, and desire to get in touch with our higher selves in the spiritual realm. It is going to definitely illuminate where it is that we are comfortable wearing these rose-colored glasses, especially when it comes to some of the relationship aspects that are very ugly and in our face that we're just choosing to avoid and detach from. And realistically speaking, yes, there is a sense of renewal as far as feeling a little bit more revived in being able to connect with our higher selves, connect with the higher realms of intelligence. We are feeling renewed with new aha moments of creativity coming in, new ideas coming in. Feels very magical. And, coming out of this very interesting quote unquote Valentine's Day holiday, the love of love is very, very real. Unfortunately, for many of us, it's delusional. And we are definitely going to get a reality check here tomorrow when the moon moves into Capricorn. But as we sort through the energy and emotions here today, we're definitely going to be gaining a lot of different perspectives on our emotional wants, needs, and desires. So the moon goes ahead, semi-squares Mercury. This is our heart and our head, not on the same page. Again, Mercury rules over the mental plane in Aquarian energy, who, technically speaking, is a little bit more emotionally detached than any other sign at this particular point. Keep in mind, we're still in Aquarius season. Aquarius energy allows us to be emotionally detached, for us to see as the observer the inner workings of our mind space, of our heart space, the details and circumstances of our relationship dynamics, of our physical realm circumstances right now, without being caught up emotionally and allowing our emotions to influence the actual truth, the actual perspective that's going on here right now. And this is why the semi-square is going to illuminate for us where it is that, guess what? We got to come down a couple of pegs. Our heart space, our emotional space, our unconscious selves in this Sagittarian energy just has the most positive and optimistic point of view, but is also very unfocused and very scatterbrained. We're jumping from one emotion to the next. And the mental plane, of course, Mercury trying to give us that bird's eye view so that we can see the inner workings of what's going on here, where there's triggers and activations. And just to kind of put it out there, communication is likely going to get tested. The misunderstandings are coming full front and center as if we were in a Mercury retrograde. We're not. However, the energy right now is very conflicting, and therefore we're not able to clearly and confidently articulate what's going on within us. And therefore, the message that we have to put out there to other people is likely not going to be received in the way that we were hoping for it to be received. And, you know, with our heart and our head not on the same page, we have to put extra energy and efforts into trying to get on the same page. Now we have a little bit of help here because the moon goes ahead, bumps into Uranus in a positive way, which means that Uranus is bringing a little bit of clarity. We're going to have an aha moment. We're going to have a shift in our perspective. We are going to be illuminated on where it is that our mental blocks are preventing our emotions from truly aligning with what it is that we want, need, and desire, what it is we're trying to conjure up as far as a plan and a strategy goes. This Uranian energy is here to kind of put us in a situation where we are going to be disrupted in our emotional realm in order for us to see clearly what it is that we actually have to build, what it is we actually have to create. Keep in mind, Uranus is in Taurus energy, in earth energy, connecting us to our physical bodies, our physical lives, where routines, relationships, and money matters are concerned. Uranus just spent the last 4.5 months retrograde, trying to show us where it is that we're creating the fears, the blockages, the challenges within ourselves, because we're holding on too greatly to some of the physical realm aspects that we're actually being asked to let go of in order for us to enlighten ourselves and move on. So this particular energy is definitely going to be a sudden shift of the heart space where new ideas, new epiphanies, new perspectives, new understandings take over, essentially changing the way that we think, the way that we feel. The moon bumps into the true node in not the nicest way, which does suggest that, guess what? Now we just had an epiphany. We just had a change of heart. Now we can't really move forward in the plan and the strategy that we thought we were going to take because we have a little bit more strategy and planning to do. This doesn't feel good because, of course, the moon in Sag just wants us to keep that excitement up, wants us to keep that inspiration up, wants that vision, wants that dream so freaking emblazed in our mind space that we want to take charge, we want to go after it. But the true node is saying, hey, I think you have a little bit more work to do. I think you have a little bit more emotions to work through. I think you have to gain a little bit more clarity. I think you have to put more energy and effort of getting your heart and your head in alignment before we go ahead and we start taking action on making sure that some of these dreams and visions actually come true. Now, here's where things get difficult. 2:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon goes ahead, squares Neptune. 2:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon squares Venus. We had Venus conjunct, sit next to, team up with Neptune right out of the gate. And now, emotionally speaking, we're getting into the boxing ring. We're fighting it out. Why is that? Because the moon in Sag wants pure truth. And right now, we're not getting the truth from Neptune or for Venus, especially them two sitting so close to each other in the cosmos, because they got their rose-colored glasses on. They're going to great lengths in order to avoid and run away from, totally disassociate, detach from our actual realities, right? They're living in la la land. They're trying to tell us that everything is good, everything is great, we're happy, we're content, we're living the life right now. The moon in Sag knows this isn't true. We have a new quest, a new meaning, a new purpose that we want to bring to life. And here we are over here with Venus and Neptune in delusional land, confused as F, really, really not helping us to kind of heal the aspects that we need to heal within ourselves in order to clean up the mess from the past, in order for us to move on. And so what we're getting here is pure emotional chaos. We are on the emotional roller coaster right now, and the moon in Sag just wants us to get to the highest peak of this roller coaster so that we can see the truth. When we look back down, we can see where we came from, we can see where we're going, we can even see on the horizon the possibilities of where it is that we can go once we get off this freaking ride. And here we are having Neptune and Venus almost drunk in their delusions right now, just having the greatest, grandest time, not realizing that they're in for one scary drop off after this roller coaster gets to moving from this highest point that we just reached. And they're going to come back down to reality with a real big scream, a real big fright, once they realize that everything isn't as happy-go-lucky, everything isn't as positive, everything isn't as dreamy as the picture in which they've been painting. So we sit in this funk for literally like 4-5 hours. And then the moon goes ahead and sextiles, which is beautiful energy, with the sun, who of course is in Aquarius energy. So we have our emotional state and our ego state blending together in order for us to see that, guess what? Yep, we have to focus very much on being very realistic, but also pushing the boundaries of our comfort zone. So what does this mean? It means that the overly enthusiastic, overly confident, overly positive demeanor of our emotions right now, we need to really bring them down a couple of pegs to be realistic. Sure, you can be in an absolute shit show and keep a positive mind frame, but are you realistic about it or are you delusional about it? Because the energy that we just came out of with Neptune and Venus, that screams delusion. Now, the sun is in Aquarius energy, pushing us into our highest form of intellect so that we can act as the observer and see where it is, especially in our emotions and in our thought space, where it is that we are coming back down to earth, where we do have to kind of cut and draw the line, if you will, between imaginary land, hopes, dreams, and wishes that are unachievable, just very happy-go-lucky imaginary figments of our imagination at this point, and where it is that intellectually speaking, we can see what is real, what isn't real, what is achievable, what is possible for us, and where it is that we need to break away from these lies, from these delusions that we are telling ourselves in order to take a realistic approach on actually bringing the dreams and visions that we can bring to life, because they're realistic enough to actually do so, into our framework. So this is a blending of energies, leaving us here in this present moment, seeing where it is that, guess what, we can be positive in a realistic situation. We don't need to be positive in a delusional situation that is going to lead us to disappointment. To further this reality check that we are currently getting here, because that's what's going on, we have the moon sextiling with Saturn, the Lord of Karma. He's definitely going to bring us down a peg. But this is a good energy because the moon in Sag is our belief system. And now that we've kind of sobered up from this delusionary rose-colored glasses imaginary land, we're like still trying to infuse the positivity of the hopes and the dreams and the wishes that we have. And Mr. Saturn here, who rules over roles and responsibilities, who rules over systems, routines, foundations, he's saying, you know what? Even though it doesn't feel very good to be weighted down and bring in a certain negative narrative to take the wind out of your sails, sometimes it's necessary to do that so that we're aligning with an energy, a frequency, and a vibration that is actually real, that we can actually work with. We can't work with delusional vibrations. We don't want to work with delusional vibrations. We want to deal with realistic vibrations, frequencies, and possibilities. And so now it's almost like we're rising to the challenge to stay grounded, to stay positive and optimistic about what it is that we're willing to put the time and energy into building. Because again, foundation, bridge, that's what you got to think about with Saturn. What do we got to build in the here and now in order to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be? But we're taking a realistic approach. You need to stay positive. You need to stay enthusiastic. You need to stay inspired, because that is going to make things happen. The minute that you find yourself in delusional land, sitting back, just thinking that you can focus on a dream and a vision and do no work in order to actually make it manifest, is the minute that you realize that you're never going to bring the hopes, the dreams, the wishes that you're currently trying to manifest into reality. That is that delusional aspect of sitting back, just thinking everything is magic. As long as I align with a thought, a vision, and a dream, it's going to happen. I don't need to put any work into it. I don't need to do any work within myself. I don't need to roll up my sleeves and start building anything different in my life. It's just going to happen because I live in delusionary land and I wear these beautiful rose-colored glasses where everything is well and everything is going to work out for the best. I don't need to do anything. I just need to sit back and keep a positive attitude. That, my friends, is delusionary land. Saturn is here to support us in getting our sleeves rolled up, our hands dirty, to actually bring to life some of the aspects that we are very hopeful on, that we are very excited about, but we're doing it on a hands-on approach in a very realistic and achievable way. This is the last aspect that the moon makes before going void, of course. And when the moon is void, we lose our grounded point, we lose our certainty, we lose our inspiration, things get shaky, we get all shook up. And the moon isn't going to lock into Capricorn energy, like I mentioned, until very early Thursday morning. But the last aspect that is made here today, while the moon is void, still in the Sag energy, is a very interesting dynamic with Pluto, the great transformer. And so there is this shift going on within us because we just got reality checked by Saturn. We just realized what it is that we actually have to do in order to manifest the dream, the vision that we're looking to bring to life. And there needs to be a change in perspective, a change in heart, realizing, hey, I think I am willing to take the rose-colored glasses off of myself. I'm not going to wait until, the universe or reality bitch slaps those glasses off of me. I am willingly going to take the glasses off. I am going to look at my life for what it is and not for the way that I wished it to be. And I'm going to sit down and I'm actually going to strategize the gap, the distance between where it is that I'm at and where it is that I desire to be, and realize the change and the transformation that is needed in order for me to get from point A to point B. And to realize that the change needs to start with our psyche, with our perception, our understanding first. Then to understand that the minute that we shift our perception, our perspective, our understanding, our inner narrative, then I can change my heart space. I can change the emotion that I'm actually vibrating at. And then once I get them two suckers on the same page, I am ready to go. I am ready to take action. I am ready to move forward. So Pluto brings the transformation in our inner realm that is needed in order to make things happen. The moon in Sag is bringing itself down to a realistic point of view right now, understanding that, guess what? Yeah, I just spent the last 2 days just projecting, visions and hopes and wishes and dreams that I can't back, that I can't bring to light. The gap is too big. So here we are bringing the moon and Sag down a couple of pegs, and emotionally speaking, this is happening within us. We're aligning with the truth. We're seeing where it is that we're still inspired, we're still motivated to do the work, but where it is that we have to break things down in more manageable and realistic pieces, if we stand a chance in being able to bring to life this bridge that's going to get us away from where it is that we're at and closer to where it is that we desire to be.